Hello, I am Nick J.D. Hodgson, and this is the record that changed my life, the Beatles, the White Album. Basically, for me, it was everything the Beatles could do, all in one go. The first time it changed my life was before I even heard it, because the first time I ever played any performance live in a kind of band setup was a version of Rocky Raccoon. Me and Simon I played the drums, and he played guitar. We had to do a performance for school, and we were 11, and we played Rocky Raccoon. And I didn't know what album it came off, because I only knew the hits, really, of the Beatles. So what it was, I used to love the real trippy ones. When I used to have it on CD, I would program it. I do Dear Prudence, Glass Onion, and I miss out Obladi Oblada, because you can't meditate to Obladi Oblada. Wild Honey Bungalow Bill, and then I get all those out of the way, and then I go, while my guitar gently weeps, Happiness is a Warm Gun, and then you can just keep going for a bit. And then there's a few more. See, there's two types of song on it. There's the kind of like cartoon song, Bungalow Bill, and Obladi Oblada. I mean, I first heard Obladi Oblada because it was in a book of children's songs on piano, and I couldn't believe that this was an actual Beatles song when I found out. I sort of got so obsessed with the Beatles, okay, when I was 17, 18, 19. I was so obsessed that I just, knew everything and read everything. I had pictures on the wall, and I was obsessed. And so if they meditated, then I would meditate, and if they did this, then I'd do that. Bearing in mind, this is about 95, 96. Oasis had just come out, and there's this big northern indie Britpop. There's two types of Britpop, really, wasn't there? There's sort of suede and the sort of London Britpop, and then we were like the northern Britpop. I think starting the band, this told me what we wanted to do with the band. And like the other Beatles albums touched upon that. This felt more accessible than like Sgt. Pepper's in a way that you couldn't take Sgt. Pepper's and blueprint your band around it, but you could do that with this because it was so varied, and it showed you the way in terms of songwriting, the arrangements. It showed you that you could do anything. We were always doing songs in two halves, and like we'd start a song there, and then we'd do something mad in the middle and go somewhere else the second half. And that's from this album. George Martin said that it would make a great single album, and I know exactly what he means, because that's basically what I was doing when I was programming my CD player, getting rid of all the rubbish. It starts with Back in the U.S.S.R, you're like, brilliant. I mean, you keep going a bit. There's a few cartoon songs, okay. And then it'll hit you with Sexy Sadie. It's pretty deep into the album, and Savoy Truffle, that's one of my favourites, and it's so far down. Cry Baby Cry is like really far in. And you're like, I thought, how do they keep coming up with these bangers? Well, I have thought about whether this is my favourite Beatles album or whether it is just the one that changed my life. It's not one that I still listen to consistently, so I would say that it isn't my favourite, but it's definitely the one that made the most impact on me. Do you know what? I think about John and Paul having written all the songs and being, they're John and Paul. And then one day, George comes in with While My Guitar Gently Weeps, and they must have gone like that. We've taken our eye off the ball here. We've got to step it up once again, because that is arguably the best song on the album, isn't it?
I look at you all, see the love there that's sleeping. While my guitar gently weeps.
I think what it shows is that they could do anything they wanted. I think that's the ultimate message of this album. We are the Beatles, we'll do what we want. That's the cover. It's compared to the Sgt. Pepper's cover. I mean, they're up to something, do you know what I mean? They're not just going, oh, make it white. It's not an accident. I mean, imagine being a Beatle at that time. It must have been, there's not a single person in the whole world that could have shared that experience or knew what it was like. 30 songs. If you take one song from here, it is better than most bands' best song. Okay. Back in the U.S.S.R is better than most bands' best song. Am I right?
Flew in from Miami Beach, BUAC. Didn't get to bed last night. On the way to paperback was on my knee. Man, I had a dreadful flight. I'm back in the U.S.S.R.
The ultimate reason this is the album that changed my life is because this expanded all the boundaries and made me just go, okay, it was like a roadmap just going, okay, you can do all this. There's no boundaries at all. So which is great when you're not that good at your instruments or not that good at writing songs, because you can, knowing that you can do anything is much more liberating than listening to Sgt. Pepper's and going, oh, we have to do this now. How are we going to do that? I'm not saying it's any worse, but it was just so expansive and the boundaries were limitless that you could just do anything.